What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Sony working on something to counteract Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass. So this is going to be not necessarily their own version of it, and that's why I kind of struggled, like, how do I say the opening? Because it's not like a PlayStation Game Pass. It's just something that is a counter to what Microsoft is doing, pretty much. And this comes from David Jaffe, right? A person that's been part of Sony, obviously left quite a while ago, but knows a lot of people still in there, but was part of Sony for an insanely long time. Obviously a very big voice inside of Sony, very big personality. I love the guy. He seems like a really fun, different kind of person. I sometimes will watch his YouTube channel. I want to thank Kyra Khan firstly over on Twitter. He sent me this article, so thanks, buddy. I know he watches these channels, and I want to talk about this. So today is plagued by a lot of negative PlayStation stuff. Trust me, I'm covering all of it. I have a video going up. I think I already did a video that's up right now on my main channel. The next 3 days, I'm going to be talking about some negative stuff regarding Sony. Not like just negative to be negative, constructive, negativity, I guess. But this one is a more positive thing. And this thing is a little bit more of a predictions thing, right? Because we don't really know what exactly is going to go on. So basically, what's happened, if you guys remember back, and I remember reading this as well, when Jim Ryan did an interview back late last year, he talked about kind of competing with Xbox Game Pass. That's probably the best way of putting it. And he said there's actually, and remember, this has already been said, but there's actually news to come, but just not today. He said when he was asked how PlayStation will respond to Microsoft's subscription service. We have PlayStation Now, which is our subscription service, and that is available in a number of markets, he continued. Now, Jaffe has said, I've said time and again that people who are writing Jim Ryan's obituary are way premature, he said in a video published on his YouTube channel. We had this guy on the show yesterday that made the petition to fire him, and I was like, dude, that's way premature because Jim Ryan doesn't owe anybody, Sony doesn't owe anybody, and the truth about what's coming and what their counterpunch to Game Pass is. What I can tell you is I know they're doing stuff because I know people at Sony who have told me they are doing stuff. There will be a response to Game Pass. What it is, we don't know. Here's what I would say I would worry about, though. If Jim Ryan thinks the proper response to Game Pass is to emulate backwards compatibility, PS3 games, PS2, PS1, add trophies, which is what the patent suggests they're going to do, and they're also going to fold in all the movies and make a streaming service, he's absolutely wrong if he thinks that mixing it with PS Now is the way to go. That would make me go, I don't think the man has a clue, because that's not going to compete with Game Pass, but I don't know if that's the case, but I don't think Jim Ryan is ready to throw under the bus at all. So that's what he said. Now, here's the deal. I actually agree with a lot of it. I actually disagree with some of it. I don't think his proposed idea is the worst thing of all time. Yes, I do agree that it would not compete whatsoever with Game Pass, but I almost wonder, based off the things that Sony is doing, if that's the path they would go. Now there is a couple of things that we just learned literally yesterday that would, I would say, not make it so that probably won't happen, and that's the Netflix deal. So Sony has made a deal with Netflix. They're not going to make, seemingly, they're not going to make their own streaming service. They're going to basically be using Netflix. So there's that deal, right, that when like Uncharted, when Spider-Man, when stuff like that, when that comes out, or any Morbius, right, when those movies come out, afterwards, I think, 45 days, whatever the deal is, it'll come out on Netflix right after, okay? So that pretty much puts to bed that. So I hope that's not the case. It's exciting. What I will say that it's exciting because there's the mystery of the unknown. I think, well, it's so tough because I want to say, like, I want Sony to compete with Game Pass. I would argue that if you did what Sony was doing for many years, like during the PS4 era, the golden years, if they were doing that and they still were doing it just as well and everything was going fine, there really is no reason to compete with Game Pass at all. Because, like, it's not that one is better than the other. It's just that they're both doing their own things that work. That's what I think people that want to create, which you guys know, I don't like the console wars. I hate that kind of negativity and the fighting amongst people. I don't like it when people in my own comments do it. I get it. I understand that that's going to happen. I just don't like it. But I think both strategies work. It's very clear the PS4 era strategy worked because the PS4 sold like hotcakes. PS5 is selling too, but I think that's just because a lot of the momentum has carried over and it's obviously still kind of growing. We'll see if it ends up stopping. But the PS4 era was basically marked with, we're just going to make games. Remember, Sean Lane was saying, we're going to let the games do the talking. Isn't that what he said that one year at E3? That's such a good quote. I think hopefully that was him. He's a really smart guy. I really do believe that. That's what they were doing, is focusing on games, just games from everywhere, doing your exclusive deals with companies, but also just focusing on making some insanely killer games from your own studios, letting them do different stuff, which goes into that more negativity on that article where it's like it doesn't seem like they're willing to take risks anymore, right? It doesn't seem like they want studios to just mess around in a way of like making random things. They'd rather bank on the biggest like potential, and also the biggest like the things that have the least likelihood of failing. Okay, I know that's kind of getting off path, but I think their strategy has worked so far, and I hope that they kind of course correct what they're doing right now. And Microsoft's Game Pass strategy has obviously worked insanely well. Game Pass is so popular. It's so good. It's such a good, just deal in general, right? It's an amazing subscription service. But I don't think you need to literally do your own version of that. I think you need to stick with what you're good at, and you need to expand upon that. Again, doesn't really seem like they're doing that. So to finish my earlier thoughts really quickly, the Netflix thing I think does stop the subscription service. That emulating games with putting trophies on it, that, I mean, you guys may have seen that pattern around. That is a thing that is going around, that is probably going to happen. So I like that. Yeah, if that's their plan, like we're just going to make it so you can play basically backwards compatible stuff, where you're going to be able to play the PS1, 2, and 3 library, and it'll have trophies in it. That is amazing. I love that. I don't think that's enough to compete. If you're literally looking to fight with Game Pass and have your own kind of model that's similar, but it's your own thing, and you're wanting to fight each other, I don't think that's enough. I think, again, trying to do your own thing and being separate and not really getting into a fight and doing this emulating stuff with trophies, I think that is a good idea. Okay, so it's kind of conflicting there. I've said for years, make PS Now a part of PS Plus. If you need to increase the price by like $10 a year, or you need to increase it $2, $3, $4 a month, I say do it. And make PS Now obviously a bigger deal, because PS Now is good. It's a lot better now than it was. I remember when it launched, it was a disaster. I tried to play it. I actually couldn't. My internet wasn't strong enough back then to actually play it was actually insane. But I remember, PS Now was not good whatsoever the first year or two it was out, and it's steadily gotten much better. Much, much better. It's not amazing, but it's definitely better than it was. So I think the next easy step, the next like obvious step, is just put them in. The PS Plus is doing really well. PS Plus has a lot of people that are part of it. PS Plus is giving when they do like the play at home stuff, that's amazing. The PS Plus games, I mean they've had quite a good string of months where there's always at least one big game. With the PS5 thing, giving us, again, like having us get Destruction All-Stars, having us get Oddworld Soulstorm. Like these are not huge games, but they're pretty sizable games that we're getting for free. And I think the strategy is working really well. So PS Plus is doing great. Mend that, or like put that with PS Now, increase PS Now, bam, you're done. And you could do the emulating, you could do the trophy stuff. I think that works. So hopefully that's what they're thinking of. It's funny when Jim Ryan mentions it, he does mention PS Now, right? When they talk about how do you compete with Game Pass, he says, well, we have PS Now, which is similar. And then if you combine it with PS Plus, you could argue that's kind of what Xbox does anyway with their Ultimate thing, where it comes with Xbox Gold, right? How it comes with the multiplayer. So we'll have to see. But and I guess they have games for gold, right? But normally their games for gold games aren't good. Like they're actually pretty darn terrible every time. But I think it's just because Game Pass is good, and they do give you big games, old games that were also big in Game Pass. So they like the games for gold thing is kind of just a throwaway idea. I don't really understand it personally. But again, like the strategies work for these two companies. So it'll be interesting to see what Sony does. Again, if it was just me, you put them together, pretty easy. You increase, obviously, maybe what you get from them. Sure, you'll have to probably charge a little bit more. That's fine. And you go from there. Again, though, not to be a negative Nancy, because I'm a PlayStation guy. I don't know how many times I have to tell people that when they say like, oh, you just hate on PlayStation. Well, I mean, other people call me a PlayStation fanboy, so people have to pick. I can either be a fanboy or I can be a hater. I can't possibly be both, according to people, but they don't seem to understand that. Okay, so like even coming from me, who I do love PlayStation, I guess more. It's my primary. It's what I was raised on. It's what I still have now. Again, I go where the games are. If they're on Xbox, I get an Xbox. If it's on PC, I get a PC that can handle it. That's literally what I do. I think that's probably the best strategy anybody could have. But the way Sony's going recently, with all the behind-the-scenes stuff, with published articles like the Bloomberg stuff, I don't know. I don't know if I trust that it's going to be something that seems obvious that is probably a good, easy thing to do. I don't know. Maybe they do something wild that also becomes good, but maybe they don't. Maybe they do something that turns out to be bad. So my trust in them is definitely shaken. To kind of end the video on a negative note while talking about a positive thing. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? What do you think their competitor to Game Pass would be? Do you think they should even try to compete, or do you think maybe they should do their own thing? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. And I do a brand new video on this channel every single day, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.